Thank you, everybody, and good afternoon. It is such a thrill to be here with you today. I want to tell you, when I heard from David Park is the reason I'm here. He told me about this school and asked me if I would be willing to come, and I said, if you want me to come, David, I'll be there. But I can see why. This has been such an exciting morning. I had the opportunity to visit the school and walk around and see the girls, and it is amazing. This is truly a unique institution. The girls are so fortunate to have this opportunity. It is really exemplary of what we at America's Promise are trying to create for every young person in our country. Too often you hear people sitting around talking about problems and saying, they need to do something about that. If they don't hurry up and do something about that, then this is going to happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no us, no they, there's just us. And you here have recognized that fact, that it's not they that have the obligation to do something, it is all of you and all of us. I think of the two caring people who were the genesis of this movement, sitting down over a cup of coffee and discussing problems in the community and the needs of girls from disadvantaged communities. And they wondered what could happen if they provided girls with an enriching single-gender learning environment. If they had those supports surrounding them at school and beyond the school day, what would happen? What if we started an all-girls school accessible to underserved girls that too often get forgotten? That's how great movements begin. And that's the way that positive things grow. People see a need, and then joining forces to make an idea become a reality. This morning's visit was, as I said, really stimulating. To see the dedication of the teachers, to see the marvelous resources that those young people are surrounded with, and most of all, the people who care about them, genuine caring about them. I want to talk about just one of the girls. All of those girls are amazing, all of them. And I give a great big shout out to the class of 16 because you have achieved a wonderful success that is just the beginning for young girls in that school. One of the girls there, an inspiring story. It's the story of a sophomore named Frida Oimana. Is Frida here today? No, she's not here. Is she here? Frida has had a wonderful success at this school. When she was 9, she and her parents and 8 siblings came here from Tanzania as refugees. She arrived scared and spoke no English. Her opportunities to attend school had been limited because she needed to help her parents work a small farm. At age 12, Frida came to CGLA, and there she blossomed, surrounded by the loving, caring adults there. She says she never thought of herself as being smart, but because people here at the school saw her potential and believed in her and cared enough to push her, she gained new confidence in herself. And that's just one of the stories in the great school at CGLA. With new confidence, she became a person that helped each other, helped her friends and classmates. And with help from her algebra teacher, Mr. Rodriguez, she participated in Math Count, which gave her even more confidence. Hence the chance to visit TVA facilities each month and talk to professionals there. And that helped her map out a pathway to her career. This summer, Frida will spend 4 weeks at Smith College in Massachusetts, studying math, science, and civil engineering. Thanks to the Passport Scholars Program here in Chattanooga, by the way, of the 8 students selected for the program, 3 are from CGLA. That is a great tribute to the leadership of Dr. Swofford and all of her faculty, and to all of you here in this room who support these efforts. There are other students all around here who beat the odds. We celebrate the first class of seniors who have had the opportunity to enjoy the full benefit from grades 6 through 12 of what this school offers. Right now, I'd like to speak to them directly. Ladies, most of you here will go on to be the first in your family to attend college. Know the importance of this. When you do, and as you succeed, you will change the trajectory of your lives, but not just your lives, but every member of your family, your children and their children to come. It passes down. You are the standard bearers, and I offer you my sincerest congratulations. I leave you one word of advice. Whoever you become, whoever you are as an adult, you are the sum of all of your experiences. Whatever I am today, it's the sum of everywhere I've been in my life. Know that fact and be very careful in the experiences that you choose. As David told you, grew up in a family of educators. It starts way, way back. My grandparents, my maternal grandparents, my grandfather was born a slave. My grandmother was born the year after slavery was abolished. They both attended college, graduating in 1848. No, couldn't have been 1848. I've forgotten the date. That's my senior moment. But they met at Berea College, which is a work-study school, and to this day is a free university. You need to pass that word along to young people. It gives them a great start. They left Berea and they went out into the community to teach because they knew that for African Americans coming out of slavery, education was the only way forward. My grandfather, Bell, began the first public school for African American students in the state of Kentucky. It was in a little mining town of Middlesboro. He also started the Methodist Church there. You know, the teacher-preacher is an important person in the community. They raised 5 children, and without the benefit of scholarships and financial aid, they sent every one of them to college, and they too went out to become educators. I am probably the only person in my family who did not grow up to be a teacher. I worked hard for that to be. I learned from their example that education is the way forward for ourselves. The story of this school is about defying the odds and changing futures. 97% of the students here come from low-income backgrounds. 100% of the students here are girls. That's significant. One of my grandsons attended an elite private school for a year, and in that school, they separated the boys and girls for math and science classes because they knew that the girls were less apt to pitch in and participate in the classes if they're overshadowed by boys. And so they were taught differently, and the girls are separately, not differently. And the girls excelled at the educational experience that they were having without the distraction of boys. So this is unique. This is unique. It just shows what can happen when people see a need and work hard to do it. The odds makers consistently underestimate, excuse me, I don't have my glasses on, women in business, science, and education, even in 2016. I don't know why we're so late coming to the idea that women can excel in the fields of science, but this is important. Dr. Habrowski, who was here with you last year, expressed the importance of that and how teaching young women the STEAM subjects make a difference in the great world. We live in a world that is rapidly changing, and we have to continually prepare our students for the 21st century. We have to be able to see the changes as they come and not take too long to catch up to them. We have to recognize what the needs are and then be sure that our young people are educated to meet those needs. Today in America, there are too many people who are out of work, mostly because they don't have a high school diploma. The jobs that used to exist for people with just a high school diploma no longer are there, and they will never be back. Increasingly, the world is technical, and we have to all be able to catch up with that. So you all have defied the odds here by saying it doesn't matter what zip code you live in, it doesn't matter what your parents do for a living, it doesn't matter what the odds against you are, because we will help you overcome them. And all of you here who support the school, you too are champions. You are champions. David told you about America's Promise and the beginnings of America's Promise. The summit in Philadelphia was called the Summit for America's Future because it was realized in a nation as rich as we are, far too many children fall through the cracks. In a place that has so many opportunities, too many people are not being able to enjoy those opportunities and make the most of them. Thousands of people came to the summit. They met, they talked in focus groups. What is it that young people need? And it all boils down to it's a very simple thing. It's not rocket science. They need 5 basic things in their lives to succeed: a caring adult, a healthy start in life, safe places to learn and grow when they're not in school, a marketable skill through an effective education, and an opportunity to give back. Here at CGLA, you are America's Promise. You provide all of those things for young people. Young people need these 5 things in their lives, and when they don't have them, they are very poor. And they are not equipped to take a successful place in the world. It is important for us in this country to realize this and work hard to prepare our children and be sure that they're successful, because it's the greatest financial stimulus you can give the country. A person without a job, a high school dropout, costs more to sustain than the bailout did a few years ago. It is a great discrepancy in our country. And so we have to be sure that we prepare young people for the future of this nation, for us to continue to exist and take our place on the world stage. Children's success begins with caring adults. They don't always have one at home, but the rest of society can rally around them and provide that support that they need. They do best when they are supported they need these supports in order to give them a chance for success. They need people who care about them, who worry about where they are, who worry about how they're doing. Your mentoring program at CGLA is the best example of what can happen. Adults who are there to talk to them, counsel them, listen to them. A number of years ago, I used to work with a group that was designed to prevent teen pregnancy. It was a character education program. It exists only in schools and only in elementary schools, because when the survey was taken and you asked high school girls, would you be willing to be a part of this program, they said, yeah, but it's too late for us. Go to the younger girls. And so the program exists in elementary schools. Every girl in the program is required to have a mentor, and they have to go out and find them themselves. They have to ask a teacher on the staff to be a mentor for them. And that person ushers them through school and deals with the problems that they have. One of my favorite girls at the time, and I'm sure she's a grown woman by now, but I will always remember her in a video that talked about the program. She said, you know, it's nice to have your parents talk to you, and it's nice when they're there, but sometimes you need a second opinion. And so that was what those girls learned, and that's what the girls here learn from their mentors and from the people in the business community who mentor them, who show them the job and career opportunities that are available for them. You are opening a new world for young girls in this program. You are broadening their horizons, and as they give back to this society, it will be a better place. My husband talks about growing up in the Bronx and how when you walk down the street, in every tenement window there was an aunt. He said the internet had nothing on the auntnet. If you got into trouble or you were doing something you were not supposed to be doing, your parents knew about it before you got home. That's the kind of overreach you need, somebody who's there. It's not to be critical, it's not to be bearing down, it's caring. Caring and loving and nurturing. So I applaud you for this web of support that you have given to this community. You are a community that goes the extra mile to see that students are grounded and supported by the 5 promises. I love the way that everyone on this staff at this school is a mentor. I love the way that older students mentor younger students, peer mentoring, passing down the benefit of their experience and helping share how you move forward. And I love the way that this community, this caring community, has worked and come together to provide the school the support that it needs. It means that it's just not the school. You have engaged the wider world in making this possible. Some of you serve within the school, some of you are parents, some of you volunteer in the community, but it means that it's all of us together. One of the things that I have learned along the way with our efforts is that when communities come together, they can overcome great problems. David mentioned the Grad Nation campaign. 6 years ago, we took a look at what high school graduation rates were in this country. And it was appalling. In the United States of America, only 70% of young people graduated from high school. 50% of African American and Hispanics did not graduate from high school. That means they had no future. And so we decided that we have to raise this graduation rate and help to ensure the future of this nation. We began with dropout summits in all 50 states and in 100 cities where people came together to talk about their problems. We asked young people, what is it that happens? Why do you drop out of school? What happens? So that we could have an idea. Today we have a research center at Boston University that each year studies young people to see what it is they need in their lives. One of the first things that they said was, don't call us dropouts. That implies that we are failures. And there are many, many things that contribute to us not being here, and not graduating. Help us overcome those things. Then the next study they did, what they heard from young people was, don't give up on us. When things are not going well and you think, oh, that's a waste of time, that's not so. Don't give up on us. Stay with us. Help us. I'm reminded of one young man who spoke at one of our Grad Nation summits. Fine-looking young man, white shirt, tie, looking really, really good. And he spoke so eloquently. He said, I was a dropout. I was in and out of jail. I had no future. And then somebody found me and directed me to Youth Build. Youth Build is one of our partners. They take young people who have dropped out of school, help them get their GED, and then they teach them the building trade. I have met graduates of the Youth Build program who are now contractors with their own firms. This young man said, when I came to Youth Build, I couldn't even understand what they said. I felt like they talked another language. But they stayed with me and helped me, and he was about to graduate from college. And that story is legion. And it's a story that we have to take across the country because there are all kinds of possibilities out there for young people, and we're all there to help. And we all have to beat the odds as a nation. I say to you today that you are America's promise. When we took on this Grad Nation campaign with those dismal graduation rates, there were those who said, oh, you can't do that. There's nothing you can do about that. It's just what is. Kids don't stay, and you just got to let them go. Well, last year, I was so excited. I got an email from the Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan, who said, tonight when I play basketball, my jersey will bear the number 81 because we have reached 81% high school graduation in this country. And that number has continued to grow. Every year, the rate is a little bit higher. I think we're at 82.4 right now. And the aim is to have 90% by the year 2020. It's not a fast race. It's not one where you can say, okay, we did that, we're done. Because the kids keep on coming. The problems are always there. And so it is not a quick race, it's a marathon that goes on and on and on. And I congratulate you here for having this spirit of community, of seeing the need here and supporting the work of this school. I usually say end a speech this way because I think it's very poignant. I understand that the Maasai people of Kenya have a greeting. When they see each other, they ask, and how are the children? Until we in this country can answer that question by saying, the children are well, we still have work to do. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for keeping the promise of America keeping America's promise to the promise of America, our young people. Keep at it. We're behind you. We will help all that we can. Thank you, and God bless you.